But yeah, no, I don't know. I feel old and I feel young. Every now and then I feel my appropriate age, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be like?
I
Okay.
guess there's also, and I don't know if it's like, I don't know, kind of the millennial feeling of like we're defining what a certain age is. Like, it's not that I feel
Yeah.
like older, but I'm like, this is what 41 is, for me, and like, yeah, still want to care about cool music that's happening.
Yeah, I feel
And
like I don't know, like growing up, like the each like 10 years was so
yeah,
different. Like the 60s, I wasn't growing up in the 60s, but I'm just
yeah.
like in the
You look
I'm
so good for your age,
well,
John.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
alive in the
yeah.
60s with an 8 year
I'll
old. So impressive.
I'll get you
Yeah,
my
I
skin
need your
routine.
skin. Yeah,
But like the 60s fashion, music, everything was so different than the 70s. And
yeah,
like the 70s was so different than the 80s. And the 80s was so different than the 90s. And I feel like the 2000s was not too different than 2010s. And 2010s were not super different than the 2020s.
yeah,
And everything is just kind of like blending together a little bit to where as we're coming of like
yeah,
old, adult
yeah,
age, 20, 30, 40s, we're not really changing too much. I'm still listening to a lot of the same bands that I listened to when I was 17.
yeah,
And I'm wearing a lot of the same kinds of, I like these
yeah,
pearl snap
yeah,
shirts, and
yeah.
like
And
fashion hasn't changed too much.
like a lot of the concerts I go to that feel like my age concerts,
Mhm.
there's like a lot of Gen Zers there. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of Gen Zers have joined the My Chemical Romance
yeah,
group, and like they're in on a lot of the bands that I consider like mine
yeah,
from
yeah,
my teenage years. I'm like, "Oh, you like it too? Okay,
yeah.
cool. We're not too different."
Welcome. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what that is about us millennials. I feel like we're young and old at the same time, and we're just kind of like across
yeah,
everything. But yeah, well, Rachel, welcome to the show.
yeah. John and I
uh,
got started without you guys. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, you're just gonna have to catch up.
Yeah,
But no, I'm very excited to chat. I've been a fan of yours for a while, and like really love the long form sessions that you do. And started
same.
incorporating some of that to my work too, and like telling people like, hey, this would be cool. We should
Yeah,
do this. And I know that I met a lot of not backlash, pushback of just like, I feel like most people these days are like looking for a mini session. They're looking for like, what can I
yeah.
do for 20 minutes? Just jump in, jump out, get a couple photos to throw up on the wall, put on Facebook. Do you find a lot of that pushback, or maybe like in the earlier years of offering long form?
Well, I don't know that I have a pushback because, well, I guess one thing is I market the hell out of myself. Like, I'm not afraid of marketing. I don't love sales. And I feel like sales is when you're like one on one trying to like convince somebody of something. And I
Hmm.
sort of like don't do that. And so I feel like that place where the pushback would happen, I don't know, it's not like a conversation I'm involved in. I like talk about long forms. I let people know that they exist, that they're out there. I try to make them feel as magnetic and exciting as possible. And I just want the people who hear about them and are like, "Oh, I want that,"
Yeah.
to come to me. But I haven't like converted people who used to do shorter sessions into doing longer sessions.
Yeah.
It was about finding the people for this offer, and like being so excited about it, and also being really willing to travel for them. Like, that's been a huge part. It's not an offer for everyone, so I'm located outside of DC, but I go all over the country for them.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And especially like with the marketing, like you were saying, of just
Yeah,
like talking about it all the
Yeah.
time, and like really like excitedly being like, this is what this is, and like this is why I love it. Because I feel like a lot of times we just kind of like, hey, I'm offering
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and if you want to do that, this is a new offer that I'm doing, check it out.
And
I
then
made a
it's like
blog
crickets.
post.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And yeah, like the like it's real marketing of like, you're going to attract the people that hear what you're saying, and then they're just like, that sounds amazing, yes, Rachel, let's do this. I don't live in DC, but like, I'll fly you out here.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna uh you know what's the opposite of attract? Repel. There we
Repel.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna repel the ones who are just like, I'm looking for a 20-minute session, this
Yeah.
does not sound good to me,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
one
move
of
on.
my so I'm one of 6 kids and 5 of us live in our small town together. So like I'm with my siblings like a lot. Like there's a
That's
nephew
cool.
in my downstairs currently. But one of my sisters has been like, having a long form session with you sounds like my personal hell. She's like, having you in my house with a camera for 24 hours is like not going to happen. And like our families aren't necessarily our ideal clients, and I'm okay with that. It's not for everyone. But
Yeah.
there's people that hear, but again, it's the marketing and the saying it over and over again. It's a it's a lot to invite somebody into your home for that long. It's a big financial commitment. Like, it's a slow build for people. So if I had mentioned it once 4 years ago and people didn't still see it happening and in action and kind of get a little FOMO when they see that other people are doing it, they wouldn't book it. Like, it
Right.
has to I I needed to kind of come out the gate strong with them so that people would see it and see the variety, like all the different ways it could look with different family dynamics, with different activities that people are doing. You know what I mean? And I feel like that has also helped people see a place where they fit into it.
Yeah, they can see their family there. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Because if I'm thinking of like 24 hours at my house, I'm like, I'm just like cleaning,
Yeah.
making dinner.
Yeah.
The kids are like watching screens and stuff, maybe playing in
Yeah.
the backyard if it's nice outside.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't sound very picturesque, but like seeing what other people are doing, like that
And
allows them to like put their own
yeah.
family in there.
And I talk about it like in the session guide that goes out or when I'm talking about it. It's in part also about it's I'm not trying to come in on like your average day. I'm trying to come in on your favorite day. Like
Right.
make a day that is a real day that are the things that you love to do, but we're like which I think is kind of part of the appeal of it for some people that they get to think like, what will we eat? Where will we go? I'll wear my favorite thing.
Hmm.
Like we're going to play my favorite music, and it's this celebration of all of these things that are true to them, but that you've just kind of it's like you've it's your birthday. You get to do everything you want on long form day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, we're gonna build this up. This is gonna be so much fun. We're doing
Yeah.
this and this and
Yeah.
this. And it's not just like, well, I don't know, just follow us around and
Yeah.
we're
Cuz
gonna do
like
our normal things.
because also I don't like consider myself a documentary photographer. Like even though I think my images can kind of lean that way,
Hmm.
especially because I shoot film, I light is very important to me. I can't shoot in all of the
Yes.
rooms in your house. Like
Nope.
there do you know what I mean? I'm so limited in that capacity. And I can't just like be shooting. It's like $2 every time I click the shutter.
I
Like
know.
I want to like kind of have a plan for what we're about to do here before I'm just like going hog wild. And so I want everything you do to be true to you, but I'm not afraid to like help you create the moment. I'm not afraid to like massage it a little so that we
Right.
get the truth. I mean, and I often say, I'm like, I don't read a novel and think, oh my God, this isn't real. So it doesn't have like truth in it.
Hmm.
Uh, so, as a documentary photographer, you might feel like I'm supposed to see the Lego mess or the, skeletons in your closet and all of the like boring, tedious, like I'm not, I mean, we can take that picture if you're really interested in it, but I want it to still
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I think there's a really big misconception with photographers, of what documentary photographers actually are.
Yeah.
And like we say like, oh, I'm a documentary photographer, but then you're actually like giving prompts or saying like, ooh, actually let's move over here because the
Yeah.
window light is really great. It's like, that's not documentary. Like
Yeah.
documentary is, I'm not talking to you,
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm taking pictures of what's going on, and that's it.
Yeah.
uh, and I think we often get terms wrong in the industry
Yeah.
and say like, "Oh, I'm a documentary photographer. I'm luxury, or I'm,
Yeah.
whatever." And it's just like, what does
Fine
this
art
actually
is one
mean?
of the ones that I'm always like,
Oh yeah.
to me, fine art means that that picture could hang on a museum wall and it says something about like family, parenthood, like
Mhm.
childhood that goes beyond the people in the picture. It does not mean a family portrait you paid a lot of money for. Like that isn't fine art. Like, you know, the Met
Yeah.
is not picking up that picture.
No. No, I think a
Like
lot of people are like, "I shoot fine art because I print on this type of paper,"
yeah,
and it's like
I'm like that.
museum quality paper, and it could be put in a museum, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody gets famous in that picture, but only then.
Right.
It's not about like, it's a portrait and those are beautiful, but it's not, and they're so valuable. But anyhow, it just
Yeah.
is like we throw these terms around, and sometimes I think they get thrown around and they're even like contradicting each other. But
Mhm.
like because it's a trending word or people think that's the one that, anyhow, which
Yeah.
makes me feel very like label adverse, even.
Yeah. Yeah, like I saw someone recently who said that they were a documentary, like editorial documentary photographer, and I was like, that
Isn't real.
I would love to see that.
That is not a thing.
That's not a thing. But you keep doing what you're doing.
Do it, yeah.
Yeah. But you mentioned something earlier that I think is really great when it comes to marketing, is like you were saying that your family is just like, this sounds terrible to
Yeah.
have you here for, well, not to have you here for
I mean,
24 hours,
who
but
knows? Maybe that's how she thinks. She comes in and out a lot,
yeah, who knows?
solid 24. Yeah.
But like a lot of times we start, like as our photography businesses begin, it's often friends or family who are just like, hey, you have a cool camera, can you take some photos of us? And those are your clients. And then once you like find who you are, sometimes in our minds we just get stuck with our family or our friends are still our clients, and sometimes they're not. Like sometimes, like even me, like whenever I think about wedding photography, I'm like, I probably wouldn't have hired me.
Yeah.
I'm not my ideal client. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing this, it's stuff that calls to me that I want to create, but it's not something that I was searching for 13 years ago when we were looking for a photographer.
Would you hire
And
you now?
I would
You're
hire me
getting there
now,
now. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, now I would. If we were
Yeah.
gonna do like a, renewal
Yeah.
something, which I don't really, believe in this, but, like, if we were gonna do, like, we've talked about, like, maybe
Same.
at 15
Yeah.
years, just doing, like, a fun photo shoot because
Yeah.
both of us looked not like us on our wedding day. I didn't have
Yeah.
time to do my hair, so it was, like, all shaggy, and I looked 17, and, but, like, but yeah, I would hire myself now, and I think, sometimes we try to market to who we are or who we've marketed to in the past when that's not who our ideal clients are
I
now.
mean, and I feel like this can be kind of regional, or I don't know. Like most of the people who I am closest to in my real life have like they never hire family photographers. They aren't
Mhm.
like family photo Christmas card people. Like
Yeah.
that's I mean, I think they would think they're too cool for that. Like I just and that they'd be like, that's like not a thing we do.
Yep.
And that's okay. I think that there are some places where it's like because I do think regionally, some places that is like everybody does it and I'm in an area where some people do it, some people don't. But like I said, I kind of feel like the people closest to me, and if I was basing it on their hiring or not hiring of me, like my worth or my value as a business, I could have felt really
Yeah.
bad about it. But they're not my ideal client, and that's 100% okay.
Yeah.
because I have found them, and I like, and I actively seek to find them.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it, is you have to actively seek to find who you're supposed to be talking to instead of just talking to the masses and hoping that they are just out there and be like, "Oh, hey, okay."
and you know what? Like in the talking to thing, the other thing that is so shocking to me is the number of photographers who don't talk about it in real life very often, especially people
Mm-hmm.
newer in their career who are often the most hungry to find clients, right? Like,
Right.
but they won't like, I don't know. They don't introduce themselves as that. If somebody asks, they're like shy about it. It's, their side hustle. They kind of undermine it, where talking about it in strange places, like those real life connections, that they have brought me so many wonderful clients, but it's also been because I'm like willing to talk to people out, well, just willing to talk to strangers and make them not be
Yeah.
strangers, and I'm not afraid to, let the conversation go there and proudly, claim myself as a photographer.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, like, whenever I was first starting off, I felt that kind of like, oh, this isn't like, I'm not
Yeah.
making all of my money doing this, or this is a side gig. And like, I would
Yeah.
say, like, oh, I'm a photographer. Or even once I was doing like weddings full time, I would just be, if someone asked me what I did, I'm like, oh, I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, I was just
And that
very
could mean
open ended.
anything to
It
them.
could,
Like,
yeah. And
and
they're like, what do you
yeah.
photograph?
Yeah. Are you
Instead of, yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like, are you photographing the things for the grocery store, like
right.
pamphlets? Like, yeah, I
Mhm.
photograph bananas. Like, it's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't really until I started, like, having that confidence of, like, "No, I'm a wedding photographer, and I'm a wedding photographer for people who want to see their personalities in their photos and also enjoy art." And,
Yeah.
like, that hits a lot deeper than just, like, "I'm a wedding photographer."
Yeah. No, it opens up a conversation, and
Mhm.
that then people are like, oh, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
they don't know what a curious person is going to ask follow-up questions. A lot of people are just going to be like, okay, I'm inserting what my idea of what a photographer is and moving on.
Yeah. Yeah, and they could be inserting that you take photos of those grocery pamphlets,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That you work
they're
for
just like,
the local newspaper. Like,
"Yeah.
so many ways of being a photographer. And uh, it doesn't mean that you could get hired. Like, that you're, because I will often like refer to the fact that I'm a retail photographer, as in like I am selling myself directly to clients who are hiring me, versus,
Right.
it's not commercial. Somebody's not hiring me so that I'm selling a product, and I'm not selling art prints. You know what I mean? Like, I have to, I'm a small business person who, there's a lot of retail elements to it. Um,
Yeah.
and that feels specific, and it feels like an important part of talking about it in the places where I am, because then people already have a personal connection to me because we're talking, and that feels like one step closer to the potential of
Oh, yeah.
hiring you.
Yeah, and, like, talking more specifically about what you do, like, that has brought me work years down the line where, like, 3 or 5 years later, I would get a message just being like, "Hey, so and so told me that you do
Yeah.
this because, like, y'all met as guests at a wedding years
Yeah.
ago, and they thought about you whenever I told them that I was needing this." I'm like, that's great. I do
Yeah.
that, yes, but they wouldn't have known if I was just like, I am a photographer,
Yeah.
and that's it. Let's talk about you now."
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. Okay, I realized that we talked about like the people and like about maybe marketing long form sessions, but for the listeners who are just like,
I was wondering at some
John,
point, I was
Rachel,
like,
like,
what is a long form
what is
session?
long form? You
Yeah.
mentioned 24 hours. Like,
Yeah.
what does this look like? Uh,
Um, it's interesting. I kind of, when I started in photography, like as a retail photographer 10 years ago, I feel like day in the life sessions were talked about more frequently. And then I kind of felt like, I don't know if they died out, or I wasn't hearing about them. And so a long form session in some ways has some of that element. They tend to be, they're like, I say they're 6 to 24 hours. Sometimes they're kind of longer depending on my travel schedule. Um, but it isn't to me like, as I said, I'm not a documentary photographer. It isn't a day in the life as in I'm like, let's get every single moment of your life documented.
Right.
It's about having, in my mind, this larger container where we get to creatively kind of decide what things feel really important to you or valuable that you want to honor, celebrate, commemorate. And then it should feel, when it's like at its best, like your art school friend came and spent the weekend with you and you guys were just like kind of creative and having fun and playing. And then it'll be like, what if we went down to the beach and did this? Okay. And then we'll make some pictures. And then we like kind of like break and let the energy kind of settle. And then we go back in. So it's, usually there's 3 or 4 kind of like creative sessions in it with some like, shots along the way. But
Mhm.
it's more about, like I said, when they're at their best, I think it's this element of co-creation with ideas somebody wants to play with, and that we have long enough time to play with those ideas. We have a long enough time that if your kid is having a meltdown, it's not like, oh no, what are we going to do? It's a
Right.
long enough time like I can have conversations with a teenager or a kind of not so sure partner to kind of ease into it. Like it makes it just feel easy. And I think it's interesting because I think sometimes people think, "Oh no, I would how would I possibly be on for that long?" And it's like, "Well, that's the whole point." In a mini session, you are on. Or
Yeah.
and even in hour-long family sessions, a lot of times it's like you're on, where this is about like it's about being off and like getting
Mhm.
to turn off and sink in, and like that's the point. It's like you can't be on that long.
Yeah. And like even creativity wise for me, when I like take a couple steps back
Yeah.
and just like, hey, I have an idea, but I want to like flesh it out. Like give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And like even during like an hour session or something, and just allowing them to have a break, like rest their smiling
Yeah.
cheeks and like
Yeah.
just talk and like not feel like they have to be on for that entire time too. Like it frees them up to feel more like themselves, and then it frees me up to be more creative and be like, okay, like my
Yeah.
creative juices were running down, I've like
Yeah.
refilled now. Now we can go do this thing. uh
Mm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
no, I love that idea of just uh, that long time together, to where, because we've all had those like hour long
Mm.
sessions where it's like one kid is just
Yeah.
having a breakdown the entire
Yeah.
time, and then the parents are getting stressed because they're like,
Yeah.
we paid for this session and we
Yeah.
are not going to get what we were wanting. And yeah, and then like the last 10 minutes everyone's good, and then
Yeah.
you get that. It's like with that long form,
Yeah.
you're going like the ebbs and flows of a family dynamic.
And it feels like, I don't, it feels like they can sense it, that they know that it's like we don't have that energy that feels really hurried or frantic. It
Mhm.
dissipates that. And
Yeah,
is there a feedback happening all of a sudden on my end?
I heard a little bit.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Just
there
want to
it
make
is.
am I
It's
messing?
like it's very very faint.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's probably not.
Okay. I just
If
wanted
it
to make
is
sure I
getting
wasn't.
picked up, I'm sure it's good.
Okay.
I can remove that. But but yeah, no, I love that like opens them up to not be so frantic and not have to worry about like, okay,
Yeah.
we need to get this done. We need to get this shot. I had this in mind and it hasn't happened yet, but it's just like we have all of this time and we can just co-create.
Yeah. And I will say, I was talking about when it's at its best. There have been times
Mhm.
where I feel like people have hired me so that we could do 16 consecutive mini sessions where I was like, we're going to go do this place. We're going to do this place. And you're like, this was not what I had in mind.
Yeah.
Um, and more than anything, because I feel like we would go to a place and they didn't like sink into their rhythm there. It's like, okay, now we're going to stand by this lake. We got the lake pictures. Now let's go to our cafe. We're getting the cafe pictures versus like, yeah, let's eat at the cafe, guys. Let's go swim in the lake. Let's like
Right.
actually do the thing and enjoy it together. You know, it's like it's also interesting to me, you know, as you do things, you realize what your marketing or your guides or like what things to talk to. If you see that something is repeating itself as kind of an issue in your sessions,
Hmm.
then it's like, okay, how do I address this and shift expectations so that we're on the same page? And like, I love that about our job, that it's this constant creative
Yeah.
thing that's not just about making the pictures, but about like, how do I bring the right people in? How do I make this thing exist in the container I want it to be?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and just like constantly growing and learning, and also like adding more value for
Yeah.
the family that the clients that are hiring you, that is like, "Oh, well I saw that over the last couple years this has popped up a couple times, so here's this guide
Yeah.
to help with this before it becomes an issue." And like guiding them through things to where it's just so smooth
Yeah.
to work with you. It's just like that makes the experience so much better, to where you're creating like raving fans who are just like, Rachel's amazing, you need to
Yep.
work with her, she like lined out everything for us, we were so prepared for the day, and just like it was so much fun to do these things and not feel rushed the whole time. And yeah,
I
no
mean, it
I
sometimes feels a little like a scam to me because what ends up happening is like I get to go on like mini vacations all over the place where they're like,
right.
have you been to the Great Lakes? I'm like, as a matter of fact, I haven't. And then you're like, dude, we're gonna, do you know what? Like, I go to the most beautiful places with these wonderful, like, whatever. Don't tell anybody. It is kind of, it's a scam.
Right,
Like,
yeah, but it
it's
is
like I
the
get to
best.
go do like do my it's just amazing sometimes. I mean, okay, it is work. Like I'm leaving my 5 children. I'm like there's
Hmm.
but you know, it's fun.
Yeah, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times we like try and force ourselves into what we see other people doing, and it's not a good fit for us. And like there's a friend of mine, Rebecca Rice, does mini sessions, and she does like 600 mini sessions a year. It's just like
Yeah.
that is her thing. She
Yeah.
does it. She thrives in it. She loves it. She teaches other people how to do it. And I'm like, that is not for me. I'll offer those every now and then. But like if you try and like force yourself into, well, she's doing this, so I'm gonna have to do 600 mini sessions this year.
Well,
Um,
actually, that's like kind of how long form sessions started for me.
oh
When my
yeah.
first kid, like, I had a solid photography business that like I loved and I felt like it was doing pretty great. But my first child was about to start college, and I was like, shoot, I need to give myself a 20 to $30,000 raise because I got a tuition to pay. Like, so I was
Yep.
like, how am I gonna hustle to make some more money? And I was like, you know, I've never really done mini sessions. People make so much money. And I like worked so hard to put this mini session offer out there. And I was like, this is gonna be my golden ticket. And I put it out there and 3 people signed up. And I was
Yep.
like, "Oh my gosh, like this was like a flop." Like I had not experienced a flop like that. I'm like, "This is the cheapest thing I've offered, the fastest. Like I don't understand what is going on." And then I was like, "Screw it. Maybe people don't want less time, they want more time." And on the heels of that, I launched long form sessions. And in my long form session launch, I booked 6 long form sessions where I'd only booked 3 mini sessions.
That's
Like,
great.
and I was like, "Oh, that's I don't I don't think people, because of like how I have marketed myself, how I've talked about things, a mini session did not seem uh genuine to my brand and my way of creating and my person. And I don't think they, when it when I've acted like this is about the hangout and the get to know you and the
Mhm.
conversation, and then it's like, well, how am I supposed to do that and like churn you through the door and be super organized, which isn't like my best quality. Like,
Right.
do you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
like I'm barely learning your names by the time you're out the door.
yeah. And so it was just really fascinating to be like, you know, on the heels of that thing that felt I was, like, so embarrassed too because everybody else seemed like they're always like, "My mini session sold out in 3 minutes flat," and you're like,
Right.
"What am I doing wrong? Like, I can't give these away." And I was like, "Hmm,
Yeah.
uh." So your next flop, like, get excited because it's giving you information, folks, about, like, where to go.
Yes, I love failing because I'm just like, ooh, what can I learn from this? Like, what is
Yeah,
this teaching me? Like, do I need to go in a different direction? Do I need to
yeah,
go from offering minis to long form? Do I need to
yeah,
do like what is it? Do I need to just talk to more people? Is it that I
yeah.
just put this out there once and like
I
hit
mean,
my
that's
email list and was just like, hey everyone, sign up for minis,
yeah.
and then crickets.
I mean, because that is one of the things I feel like I could talk about ad nauseum with people. Like, it didn't fail. You stop talking about it. Like,
Hmm.
which could have been true in the mini sessions that I was also like, maybe I wasn't as excited as I could have, should have been, even though like I felt motivated. I don't know that I felt excited.
Yeah.
And, uh, and once you get embarrassed about an offer, I think sometimes you can be like, I don't want to keep talking about this. Nobody wants this. And I've
Hmm.
gotten better in the years since then. And like I've seen it enough about other things where you're like, I just need to talk about it more and
Yeah.
like give people time. And I don't care that other photographers are selling out their classes or their retreats or their things instantly. I'm getting great people who are coming to me. And sometimes it takes a while for them to make that decision. It would take me a while as a client, as a customer. I don't
Yeah.
want to constantly think I have to be like waiting on my computer to be like, click buy. Like, that's okay.
Yeah. And also I need to hear it a couple times
Yeah.
because I may hear the first time while I'm sitting in line to pick up my kids from school
Yeah.
and be like, "Ooh, Rachel's offering long form sessions.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. Oh, wait, it's my turn. Let me pull up." And
Yeah.
then totally forget,
I mean,
not,
Lord knows I'm not answering all of my text messages because I look at them and forget to respond. So, like,
I'm
how
so
could
bad at
I
that.
how could I expect people to like have heard it one time on a podcast or scrolled their like, yeah,
Yep.
they need to hear it more. And I don't know, it's a part of the creativity too. Is how can I talk about this in new ways or keep showing that it's happening or
Yep.
you know, I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, it's a good challenge to be like, okay, how can I talk about this in a different way that I haven't before?
Yeah,
And like, I'm a recovering people pleaser, so I'm like, I talked about it 3 times this week. I don't want to be annoying,
yeah,
so I'm just gonna leave it here. And I am still pushing myself to be like, no, I need to feel like I'm being annoying because the odds are a lot of people haven't heard it yet. A lot of people don't know, or maybe they did know. And then this seventh time that I'm talking about it, they're like, ooh, I'm in a place where I can actually click the link and go book. And yeah,
and,
just be annoying.
and like one of the things I know comparison can be really awful and really hurt us in all sorts of ways. But one of the
Hmm.
things I try to encourage people to do is like look at people who you really like, uh, who seem to be marketing really well, who you might feel kind of jealous because they seem like they're really killing it, and go pay attention to what they're doing. And you'll probably notice that they're saying it a lot. And if you haven't found them annoying, then
Yep.
like let that be your permission slip to do it too. Uh, because when you actually go use them as a case study, you're going to notice that they have been saying it a lot and you weren't annoyed because you liked what they were saying. Like, and so, pay attention to the people who make you have that kind of feeling, because they probably like there's some things to glean from that.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that's a good another thing is like if you like them and you
Yeah.
enjoy hearing from them, when they're talking about their offer over and over and over again, you're not annoyed by it.
Yeah.
Friend Jamie Tobin, she just rebranded to like she's in like Iowa or Indiana, something like that, and like
One of
she
those I
rebranded
states.
one of those I states
Yeah.
that are just like in the
Fly over.
middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and she really loves the PNW and wants to go to Oregon all the time, and she has been talking about that nonstop on TikTok. And for me, I'm like, oh yeah, Jamie's talking about that again. I will like this. I don't
Yeah.
feel annoyed by it. I know that I've seen her talk about it like at least 10 times in the last couple weeks, but I enjoy her content and like her as a person, so it's not annoying. And there are people who enjoy you as a
Yeah.
person who are just like, oh yeah, John's talking about this again. Cool. Let me
Yeah.
like this. Or I have time. Let me actually share this with someone that I think would enjoy this too.
Yeah,
And
that's how
yeah.
we get to like be known for things too. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know. I I like am a self-proclaimed wet hair mom. Like if I'm at the pool, I'm gonna have the wet hair. Like I'm swimming with my kids. Like I'm not staying
Yes.
on the sidelines.
You're
Like
you're not just a feet in the pool kind of
yeah,
mom.
no, I'm like that is a thing. But because I like talk about it a lot and I show pictures, it's interesting. Like people relate to me on this thing because I'm always saying like, I'd love if your long form session ended up in a body of water. People are like, "Co-" and people who really
Yes.
love swimming and love it feels like a point of connection and they so yeah some people might be like oh my god Rachel's talking about how she went swimming again and like I don't care if you said that you can go like my
Yeah,
sister
right.
Claire like
She's like,
um
one, I don't want to hang out with you for 24
for
hours.
24
Also, I don't want to hear about you swimming anymore.
swimming it's because she's not a wet hair mom so that's
Yep.
probably the problem you know
Yeah. And that goes back to the attract and repel again.
yeah
It's like the people who are wet hair moms, they're like, yeah,
yeah
I'm the one also doing cannonballs with my teenagers. Like,
yeah
I want this. That would be so much fun to have those like cool splashing photos of
yeah
us and kicking around in the lake. It's like,
yeah
let's do this. Yeah.
y- you know and so lead with what you love and people are gonna and you know you don't have to be quiet about it.
Yeah.
Like take up your space.
Yeah. That's like mic drop moment there. Just like take up your space.
Yeah.
Don't don't make yourself so small. Like you deserve some space.
There's a poem I reference a lot by Nikki Giovanni and the last stanza is show me a woman who's not full of herself and I'll show you a hungry person and like damn if I don't think
Mm,
about that on the regular. Like
yeah.
yeah, be full of yourself. Like you have a you John space to take up in this world. What who
Hmm.
else is supposed to take it up? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of us who maybe grew up in a way that we felt like we had to be small
Yeah.
and we had to take up little space and we couldn't be loud, we couldn't be ourselves. I went through a lot when I was a kid and that just like turned me into like this super vanilla person that was just like I don't really know what I like and I'm just going to go through try and please
Yeah.
people and just be like, "Oh, you like this? Yeah, I also like that." And uh and that was it. And it wasn't until like my mid 20s that I was like, what is actually John? Like
Yeah.
I feel like I have just like grabbed from so many people, but I didn't really know who I was. And like there's a lot of us that have grown up that way that just need to break free of all of that and take up all of the space and be loud and and be that loud person out in the world that people can see and then they'll remember you and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I Rachel's been talking about long form for years. When I think about that, I think about her.
Yeah. Um, if we were in a long form session, I have like 15 follow-up questions that I want to ask about that. I'd be like, John, so what was it that you were pretending to like? What did you discover that you loved? Anyhow, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll save it for later.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do a follow-up podcast for that.
Yeah. I'm like, I have so many questions now.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, there's so much there that
Yeah.
I've been like, oh, I didn't realize that that was like part of me, or like remembering memories that were suppressed. I'm like, oh, okay, well that explains some things.
Hope we're not laughing at your trauma, but if we don't
Yeah,
laugh, what are we going to do sometimes?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But no, and Rachel, I have loved this. This has been so good.
I know this was such a
Um,
nice talk. Thank you for having me, John.
yeah, thank you for being here. And yeah, I really enjoyed our talk
Yeah.
too. Before we get into like where people can find you online and follow along, see your stuff, all of that, there's part of the show that I like to do where we talk about what we're loving this week. And it can be literally anything: new book, TV show, movie, food, whatever. What are you
Oh.
loving?
Um, I've been trying to tell everybody about Long Story Short. It's an animated series. It's by the people who did BoJack Horseman. I don't know if you I'm
Okay.
not like an animated series person usually. Anyhow, it's like a family situation where you're like going back in time and it's very nonlinear, but it starts with like every episode. It's like kind of scrapbooky, the intro, and you're
Hmm.
seeing these pictures of family like through the generations. And it's really like sweet and kind of heartfelt. And I don't know why people didn't talk about this first season of this show more because I think it's
Ah.
so good.
That sounds really good. That sounds like something that I would really like. And
Yeah,
I love nonlinear shows. It's
yeah,
just it keeps me it keeps me in it where I'm
yeah.
just
Because you're
like,
like, oh, I hope they come
oh,
back to the mom more. I want to see about her childhood, and then they jump to
uh-huh.
like, and I love it, and it's
Yeah.
so good.
And when they're like really well written and I'm like, "Oh, you just showed us that happened 20 years ago and that leads into why they
Yeah,
did this thing now in present day." And I'm like,
yeah,
this is good writing. I enjoy this.
yeah.
Uh,
It's so good.
okay, so it's called Long Story Short.
Yeah,
Okay. Where do you watch that? Where can I find it?
I can never remember. We have
Okay,
all of the
cool.
things. So sorry. Yeah,
Yeah. I'll find it,
find it if
throw it
you
in the
want
show
to. If
notes for
somebody's
everyone.
yeah, if somebody's like
Yeah.
needs it, they'll find it.
Yes. Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, we probably have a subscription to
Yeah.
whatever it's streaming on at this
And
point.
yeah, we should probably declutter that, but
Yeah. Yeah, but there's just too many good shows and they're all
yeah,
spread out now. I feel like
yeah,
we're like on the verge of coming back around to cable to where it's just like, yeah, you just pay this one thing and then
yeah.
you get everything.
And it's
Uh,
$1,000 a month.
and then it's $1,000 a month, but it's worth it
Worth
because I
it.
get I get
Yeah.
all my shows. Oh, what am I loving this
Yeah.
week? I'm loving, I don't know. It's gonna be very dated for this, but like I'm really loving the weather recently. It is finally cooled off here in Texas, and I don't know. It's probably like our fake fall,
Yeah.
because it's like it got down to like the 60s for highs, which I
I
know
I
doesn't
can you
sound
hear
that
me
cold.
rolling my eyes?
I
Like,
know,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh god."
But like I definitely do not belong in Texas. Like
Yeah.
I cold weather is my jam, and anytime that it's below 60 I'm just like, "Ugh, I can breathe. This feels so
Yeah.
good." We've been going on family walks like every single evening and
Yeah.
everyone's happy and not sweating.
Yeah.
So it's been really
I
great.
love
I've
that
been
for you,
loving that.
John.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
We got our false winter 2 days ago, so I'm like, "Go back."
Right. Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't need all the snow yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, okay. Rachel, where can people find you? Where can they see your photos and connect online?
I mean, the number one place, rachellarsenweaver.com, which will take you to all the places. I also have a weekly newsletter that you can sign up for there if you're interested. And that's part of it's a pretty like personal kind of narrative based newsletter, which will slow burn you into wanting your own long form session, maybe.
Oh,
But yeah,
see what you're
and
doing
that'll
there.
yeah. And then and on Instagram is rachel.larsen.weaver. Yeah, I got the dots right. Whatever. It's you know, put in those
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
You'll find
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And I'll have links for that for everyone. Y'all can just scroll down the show
Yeah.
notes and click over and say hey. But yeah, well, Rachel, this has been so great. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, thank you. This was really fun.
Yay. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for everyone for those of you who were here live and those watching the replay. We'll see you for the next one. Bye, y'all.